Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Great deals on Yamaha motors until June 15th, up to $1,750 back on select models of G3 and Suncatcher pontoons through June 15th. Discounts of up to $5,000 back on select models of Godfrey pontoons, up to $2,000 on select models of Hurricane deck boats. In other words, there's no better time to buy a boat and no better place to buy a boat than Madisonville Marine right now. madmarine.com to learn more. Highway 411 North in Madisonville to drop in and see their huge selection. All right, I'm going to talk in this segment about Johnny Majors, the coach. As you can see there, he built Iowa State and didn't rebuild it. He built it at Iowa State, and they've named a practice facility after him. He rebuilt Pittsburgh and did it quickly and won a national championship. Rebuilt Tennessee and laid the foundation for the great decade of the 90s that Philip Fulmer took and raised to another level. National Coach of the Year in 1973 and 1976 by three different sources. National Champion at Pitt in 76. SEC Coach of the Year 85. SEC Champion 85, 89, 90. Gentlemen, ironically, he is in the College Football Hall of Fame as a player. He's not in as a coach because his winning percentage doesn't hit the right level. Problem is, when you take over Iowa State and build it, these years count against you. When you take over Pitt at the bottom and build it, instead of rewarding someone who built at three different places, they take off points is basically the way that works. And certainly his last trip back to Pittsburgh after UT, that was the final straw that knocked him under 60%.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame because he should be in the Hall of Fame as a coach. When he went to Iowa State was 2-8 the year before. He led them to their first bowl game in history. He goes to Pitt. They were 1-10, and he goes to Pitt. 4 years later, he wins the national championship. What's interesting about that, when he comes back to Tennessee, when we visited with his brother, Bobby Majors, Bobby told him, you need to stay at Pitt. He said, you got it going up there. He said, the Tennessee program is not very good right now. They have not recruited well. You need to stay up at Pitt. You wonder how many more championships he might have won had he stayed at Pitt instead of come to Tennessee. But the other thing Bobby said I thought was also interesting, he said that Johnny recruited him to go to Iowa State when Bobby was coming out of high school. He said there was no way I was going to Iowa State and play for my brother. He was too hard on his players. I wasn't putting up with that. So.
Well, he's right about the Pitt thing, because I would invite anyone to go check the history books, look at all the national championship coaches through all the years, and find me another one who left that year, win the title, immediately leave for another college. Now, you had guys leave for the NFL. I couldn't find any that left for another college. What he did to come home to Tennessee and leave what Jackie Sherrill enjoyed, what he inherited, what he did was remarkable and unheard of.
And we've talked about this before, but if he had come to Tennessee, boy, he came in '77,
right?
And they don't win a championship till '85.
Yeah. Won 9 games in '83.
In the modern era of talk radio and internet and pressure, would he have gotten that long at Tennessee before all those big expectations of Johnny coming home off a national championship would have turned sour?
And instead, he was allowed to continue to attack.
That's right. And, some of the players over here were talking about this, and they'll be back in the next segment, but they were talking about this off the air, and that is, and I can't even go through the full list. You mentioned 33 guys that went on to be head coaches. Mm-hmm. Jackie Sherrill, a guy named Jimmy Johnson, Dom Capers, John Gruden, Dave Wanstadt, Philip Fulmer, David Cutcliffe, Lovie Smith. You could go on and on and on. It's a remarkable trait he had. Now, he was hard on them. That was one of the things. You had a lot of turnover.
Ron Zook.
But boy, he found a lot of good guys. Yeah. Ron Zook.
He said he thought the key to that was that he was a teacher. He said his dad was a very good teacher, and he felt like he was a good teacher. And being able to teach his assistants, he thought, allowed that tree to grow to have 33 different coaches under him become head coaches.
You mentioned the 3 programs earlier in the show, and it's interesting. I don't know how many people did this, but if you went and read the Iowa publications this week and the Pennsylvania publications this week, you saw he got as much love from those fan bases and from the media there as he did here, which just tells what kind of and again, how many coaches are that beloved at 3 different programs.
Right.
I mean, you look at Urban Meyer, okay, he's got a couple, Florida, Utah, Ohio State. you don't have a lot of guys that bounce around like that and have that many programs that love them. One interesting thing, this was always something I thought was funny. I'm going to take this opportunity to throw it out here. In defense of Majors, one thing you always hear, because it took him longer to rebuild at Tennessee than it did Pitt, was everybody, well, unlimited scholarships when he was at Pitt. He did it Pitt quick, so he was unlimited scholarship. That changed when he came here, which is true. But everyone else had unlimited scholarships too. I always thought that was kind of an unfair dig for people to say, well, he had 80-man recruiting class. Yeah, just like Bud Wilkinson and Bear Bryant could do it, everybody could do it. So I always thought that was interesting. That little knock didn't seem fair to me. But you go back to what he did at Tennessee, certainly laying the foundation. And Philip Fulmer took it to another level, there's no question. But you can't have the decade of the 90s without praising Johnny Majors for helping to get you there.
Yep.
Well, to your point, you cannot ignore the fact that he rebuilt those programs. I think that is a great testament to a great coach. If you're able to do it, not at one place, not at two places, but at three, and he was able to do that.
Yeah, and even if you go to that first class at Pitt where they said, okay, 67 guys he brought in, he found a lot of good guys, and he convinced them to go to a terrible program. Guys like Tony Dorsett, Matt okay. There's something to that. There's something to that. All right, we'll have more with you guys a little bit later. We're going to talk about what Johnny Majors' greatest UT win was, or favorite win. We'll ask these guys. When we come back, though, more with our VFLs. First, as we go to break, here's what it looked like, and Sterling was in this locker room. This is what it looked like in the Neyland Stadium, Tennessee winning locker room after the Auburn game, 1989.